Hello, this is Kyle from Midnight Paranormal Files back again. Today we are going to be talking about the Vengeful Witch of Witch Road. Now, I actually been to this road and we did an investigation there. It's down on in the link below in the description for this episode if you want to check out our YouTube channel to look at our video or check it out. It's like one of our first videos that we made. But here we go. The creature lore is in the days of old, being a witch was not a wise of career choices. Faced with a life of being feared, misunderstood, uh, and other stuff, to a brutal death wasn't too appealing. Witches historically have been viewed as social outcasts practicing the dark art of witchcraft, while closely aligned themselves with the devil. There is much debate and folklore over the actual physical makeup of a witch. Are they normal, rational men and women whose earth based rituals and spells are simply misunderstood? Or are they some type of unknown cryptological creatures? The extent of the strange and powerful of these witchcraft practices um, fade widely throughout folklore. Through the possess supernatural powers, witches were able to inflict great physical, mental, and spiritual harm to those who fell under their wrath. The work of the witchcraft was routinely blamed for poor harvests, loss of livestock, and even the disappearance of small children. Today, the popular perception of a traditional witch is that of a hideous old woman whose pitch black clothing and match only by her heart. Yet this wasn't always the case. One of the many powers of witches is that the ability to shape, shift, and transform themselves into many different forms. They often would operate under glow of animals or morph into a young, attractive girl in order to achieve their unholy objections. One of the most fascinating legends in Wisconsin revolves around an old deception house that continues to hide in hideous secrets. According to legend, nearly 7 decades ago, a mysterious old lady lived all alone in a small house on lonely outskirts of Rosendale, Wisconsin. Those who were brave enough to venture out to the area were treated to a chilling sounds of bizarre chanting emerging from her home. Rumors soon began spreading that the woman was deeply engaged in unholy rituals that were cursing the land. The woman's reputation as a wide rapidly spread, causing more and more curious onlookers to visit the area. Sticks, rocks, and other miscellaneous objects were routinely threw at the helm in attempt to assassinate the witch. Eventually, even the dark arts could not keep the witch alive, but before her death, she used her power to put a curse on the home and the surrounding land. Uh, this road is called Callan Road. It's in Ripon, Wisconsin, Rosendale. Uh, in the book that I'm reading, it's the Wisconsin Road Guide to Mysterious Creatures by Chad Lewis. I go through him a lot for some of the sources for the podcast, and it's also rumored to be haunted. It's also just so this is kind of like a crossover between cryptid and also haunted because we don't know if witches are cryptids or they're people that pass away and so forth. But yeah, we will be. Yeah, when we were there, we heard a lot of stuff there in Ripon. Now, some of the ghost lore on this road is the ghost of a little girl hides in the woods of Callan Road. That's one of the things. Uh, at night, certain parts of the road are unusually dark and cold. After dark, the sound of trickling water can be heard near the road. Through there is no stream nearby. The witch's displanted house can still be seen in the woods. I've been there when we did our YouTube video. I did not see this house at all. So that's this is the older book from the Wisconsin Road Guide to Haunted Locations. It was written back in 2004, so it's almost a 20-year-old book that I'm reading now. But anyway, people seen flashing lights at the end of the road. White lights have been observed on the trees. There is a tree on the side of the road that resembles the witch. The ghost of a little girl has been seen hiding in the woods and peeking out from behind the trees. Now, I did not see this little girl that peeks behind trees and stuff when we were there for the video or anything like that. The only thing I heard was EVP recording, which she sounded pissed, and I remember what the witch said or anything, if it even is a witch, but she did not sound that happy of for us to be out there investigating. But the investigation for on the Wisconsin Road Book to Haunted Locations, we did find the broken down old home where the witch is supposed to have lived and found. They have fallen into a stage utter disrepair. A small brook was spotted along the road, which would account for the sound of trickling water. We spoke with eyewitnesses, reported seeing mysterious lights on the road with a lidal imagination. Any number of these old trees along the road could be intercepted and resemble the traditional Halloween witch image. That's for the Wisconsin Road book to haunted locations. Now, the mysterious creature book, well, they're both by the same artist. Um, what what he wrote down for the witch book is a little more in depth, I guess. As you hear me like flipping through the pages trying to find it. Investigation log for the Wisconsin creatures. For those who visit the short, secluded stretch of Callan Road, the sensation that is inhabited by a witch seems to set in immediately. The heavily wooded area starts to slowly squeeze in as the trees along the road creep together to form a dark canopy where not even the light can escape. The trees seem to manifest the uneasy feel of that of the road, conjures up the twisted and nodding branches morph into frightening shapes and appear to come alive as you pass by. The whole area looks like it remains frozen in a painful pose from a time long since past. It is out here that one of the Wisconsin's darkest legends rests. Most people travel to the site with hopes of encountering the witch, but they often find that of old witch is only the beginning of their troubles. For years, the area has been plagued by strange balls of lights that flow along the road. These whip-o-wisp lights start back and forth between the road and the trees, as though controlled by some unseen force. One witness told me that she finally got the courage to walk the road at night by herself, but as she was walking, she noticed a small ball of white light in the woods that is moving parallel to her. She noted that the light seemed to mimic her every move, yeah, even gaining speed as she began jogging up the road. Over the years, I have received dozens of similar reports of detailing a light that rotating routinely changes its color, shapes, and size. As I previously mentioned, the rural area is bordered with creepy looking trees. My first visit to Witch Road came during a bright day when the sun was beaming down. Yeah, as soon as I rounded the bend in the road, the place took on an almost impossible darkness as the bizarre shaped trees all but extinguished the sun. In the atmosphere, the trees seem to take on a life of their own. Legend states that one such tree in front of the house stands out from the rest because of its uncanny resemblance to that of a witch. You may struggle to find that exact tree, as no one is sure which one it is, although get plenty of people who tell me they stare down the menacing witch tree. In 2007, I filmed a segment of Discovery Channel, A Haunting. That's not me. This is Chad Lewis. On Witch Road, a couple and their young son arrived on Witch Road just as the sun was losing its grasp on the day. According to the location, the old house, husband through her, he heard voices coming from the home. I don't know why I just was saying. Although the family was certain they were the only living people out there, not one to let their imagination get the better of them. The family brushed off the unidentified voices and began walking about the place, soaking in the wilderness. Then their normal, very shy son yelled out hello as he gazed with fixed stare on the woods in front of him. Yet his parents could see no one was there. Using her son as a sort of physic boundary, the woman began snapping several photos when she saw a shadow from the corner of her eye. Turning to get a better look at the shadow, the woman noticed that once again no one was there. With the odd events piling up, the couple continued on their investigation, passing by the house once again. The husband found himself overcome with nausea and he stood near the rundown building. He quickly moved and discovered that the sick feeling dissipated, leaving him with the feeling that he had stepped into some type of cursed spot. Convinced that something strange was lurking now at Witch Road, family headed home only to discover that several of their photos that they collected with strange actions were blurred, while the rest of them were perfectly fine. Eerie feelings of something is not quite right as part of course out at Witch Road, which I was talking about earlier. Um, it felt well a very strange sensation when the road became notably darker and felt well weird. Gentleman reported that one night he took his wife out and a friend out on the road. They were possession on the road looking at the rundown house when the air was pierced by a very audible scream. Then shot out from the woods, looking around for possible sources. The group was certain that they were alone. Yet another occasion, a woman, her mom were driving through Callan Road. They just passed the curve, and the old home was when she looked into her rearview mirror and saw a huge black form on the side of the road. Um, but yeah, that's just the legend of Callan Road. Now we've been there. We heard about this road. We were like, hell yeah, let's go to it. And yeah, it's pretty cool road to go on to. Uh, I think it's haunted. Actually, it's one of the few Wisconsin legends I actually been to that I could actually say yes, this place is haunted. Um, but yeah, I've been to a couple art places that people heard of, like Bloody Bride Bridge in Wisconsin, and few art ones. Uh, and those places I don't think are that haunted, especially Bloody Bride Bridge and Boy Scout Lane. I have to mention, but anyway, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys like this podcast episode. Leave a like, review, and all that. Make sure to follow us, and I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast.